Black Family United presents Conversations. Today's topic, the divine order. God, man, woman, child.
It is incumbent upon women to put the strength back with men. Now, it is our fault as men that women have this power and we don't have it. Because we have walked away from our responsibility.
That's right.
We have stopped watering our seed. We have stopped putting letters together for our word to be full. So women have had to, many years, take that role. And so now women are in the habit, and this is not a blame. It's not a blame.
It's a call.
But women are in a habit of hoarding their children. So even in a situation where men and women, they make children, 9 times out of 10, the children end up with the mother. And a lot of times there's a fight. But the fight is not necessarily about the kids. It's between men and women. But it manifests itself through the kids. So men, in our weakness, what do? We quick to walk, like whatever. But I think women have to put that power back in men to let us know that we are needed and they need to stand behind us. But women need to understand that standing behind a man does not show weakness. You know, God tells us that when a man finds a woman, he finds a good thing. So a lot of people don't understand that philosophy. So what we have now, there's a battle between the sexes. And so the women aren't given the power back and the men aren't trying to get it. So in order to put our communities back in order, it has to be in order. Man, woman, child. That does not put anyone under anyone. But me being a Christian, that is the divine order of life and family. The man. Right? He has to be. He has to be. So I think when we get to that point to where women are seeking men to encourage and uplift and say, hey, brother, I need you out there. My son needs to be fenced in. Hey, brother, I need you over there. I need someone to show my son what to do. Because my mother raised me, and I believe she did a wonderful job. But if it wasn't for her dropping us off at the park with Coach Thompson, Coach Robinson, Coach, those were the men, and giving them, and she gave them power. If they do anything, out of line, you got my permission to.
That's right.
That's
right.
So there, even though it wasn't our dad, it was a man there, and we understood. You know what I'm saying? There's a hierarchy of order. Like, man, when men speak, you shut up and listen.
That's right.
You know, so I just think if we get back to that, where women are, but women have to do it though. I'm telling you that. That's just straight up, it's the real. So I'm not trying to put pressure on women, but that's the real.
Well, what's an example of that? What's an example of a woman? So you have these situations where the man has stepped back because whatever reason, the problems that they have with the mother, and they've relinquished that right? What are the steps that I guess a woman? What are the physical steps or things that are tangible things that you could do to get back to that state where you give it back, you give them power back?
First of all, a woman has to find a man that she trusts. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, someone that you trust, that you can give them power that a father would have. You know what I'm saying? Because when the father speaks, what does mama do? You heard what your dad said.
Right.
They don't challenge the word. And when men and women have to challenge each other's word, they should do it behind closed doors away from children. So you go to places that are safe. You find your neighborhoods, you find your families, and definitely back to the church. And you got to find those brothers in the church that are doing positive things and have a good track record. And you can go to those people and say, you know what? You know, women, because you got to man up and you got to say, I need you. I need you for my son. I don't need you for me, but I need you for my son. There's no man there, and you are the most positive man I know. You are the most in-line man I know of a road I want my son to travel. And I need you. I need you to take responsibility and show my son something. Talk to him. walk with them, sit with them, let them sit with you. And we have to do that. And I call it, this is my own thing, I call it the handoff method. To where women have to get to the point, since, you know, this is my son, and, yo, he's yours. I pick you up from him after church. So he sits with this man doing church, and he sees how this man fellowships. He sees how this man listens to the word of God, or even if it's at the ballpark, he talks in sport language. So he learns the sport language, you know. He talks about sportsmanship, and he says, see, nah, you better not ever throw it back. If you ever strike out, you don't ever do that. Punks do that.
That's
real men strike out, put your hat on, get your glove, and go to the field.
Real talk.
Those are the things that, you know, women, you have to put. It's hard for women, I know. It is hard because you're so used to doing it yourself, because you've had to. But that's the thing of finding someone that's safe.
The black man who left the responsibility up to the woman or the mother, what happens to him? Like, what are some ways to get to him? You know, because you've empowered another man, or, you know, mentors, and I'm totally into, you know, mentorship. And so if you kind of, the mother has taken that, you know, responsibility, or given that person a mentor that role, what happens to that father that is just not there, or has been ripped of that, you know, being able to be that strong black man there? What are some things we could do for him, or, you know, to hold him accountable and to uplift him, you know, encourage him to be that man?
Gotcha. Two things. One, if you were one of the women who at first took that responsibility from him, you have to give it back. You have to start off by apologizing and letting him know how wrong you were for taking a piece of this child's life. But I need to give it back to you because this is yours. And then you have to encourage your children. Call daddy.
That's right.
Call your daddy.
That's right.
Now, regardless of how you feel about it, you know what I mean? Regardless about how you feel about it, you have to encourage that child to call the dad. Let the dad opt out on his own.
To the women, I'm asking for women, is it easy to separate your relationship with his parental responsibilities?
I don't have a child. One day I'll be blessed with that opportunity, but I know a lot. Most of my, it's probably one of my friends that doesn't have a child. All of the rest of them do, and African American women, and no father doesn't even acknowledge the fact that they have a child. So they struggle and do whatever they have to do to take care of this child. I don't know if it's always been like a role issue. The women I guess are expected to take on that responsibility, father or no father. That's just how I've seen it. But going back to the last question, I think that we as individuals, as adults, you know, I've often heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It doesn't have to be that child's direct father to be a role model or a mentor. It does take another man figure to show a man how to be a man. But I think that, you know, James Brown said it the best. Said it the best, you know, and I'm one who I respect men so long as they respect me. You know, I know that men are needed. Just, you know, putting yourself in the right place at the right time, which is pretty much anywhere that you go, you can always reach out and be of assistance to our black youth. And I've just seen so many times there's not a lot out there. You know, right now I can look around and you know, I'm glad to see African American men this many in one place, and you know, ain't nobody like yo over there looking at me, Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to do that though.
You know, I mean, So this appears to be just the beginning. You know, it completely kills my notion or my thought that there aren't any strong black men out there. Completely. Just, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many black men are in here.
Yeah, but you just said that a lot of the females that you know, they have babies and the fathers don't even acknowledge it. So going back to what you said, that woman can't go to that man and say, I'm giving you back your power, because he's not even acknowledging the role at all. So, and she said like 9 out of 10, that's a lot. There's only a few good, positive role models, and there's a whole lot of kids out there. So it's going to be very difficult for the role models, even when it comes to relationships. Strong men that make good relationships, they're dealing with the odds. They're like 10 women to 1 man. So it's even more difficult for even him to be that good man. So we're really in a very bad paradigm.
If you know better, you do better. A lot of time we learn from example. A lot of time it's generational curse. A lot of time they just don't know what to do. So people like you, because you're very learned and you have experience, you two, we have to start programs for grown-ups to reteach them or to teach them these things are possible, because they don't know what to do. They don't know because their parents didn't know. If their parents don't know, then they can't teach anybody. So we have to teach the adults. We have to teach the adults.
But the adult is church.
That's not what I'm saying. Right.
I just want to say that.
But the adults don't know, like the women that you're talking about, don't know how to step down. That's all they know is to actually take the roles, because that's what they've seen, that's what they've been exposed to. So they don't know. It's just like a grown child. So we literally have to teach the adults and put them in a position of trust so they can learn from other people. We have to set up ways like stuff like this is where we need to actually have like Bible studies. We need to have some Bible studies or studies of how to be a woman, how to do this and how to do that, because they just don't know. So we can get an organization together and get the grown-ups who don't know a need for certain, you know, in certain areas that they need. Then let's go like you deal with the children, you deal with the boys. Women in here who deals with that particular situation of teaching grown-ups who didn't have a mother or father. We have to break it down and have literal school lessons. That's the only way I can think of. Because we don't complain about it when we're not doing nothing about it. So we need to set up an institution where they can come and learn to be a parent, to be a person.
I really have a lot of respect looking through our history for black women, because if it weren't for black women taking control, like we can say all this stuff like, oh, they need to do this, but who's feeding the kid, who's putting the clothes? Somebody has to do it, and we can theorize about they need to do it better or they need to give responsibility, but it's like if we didn't have black women taking that role, then we'd be out of gas right now.
In our community, everything we do is for me. So when I make this money, this is mine. This car is mine. And women are saying, this kid is mine. This is my kid. Don't be dressing my kid, and you know, it's even in the language. So there has to be a sense of family. Because anything you do, whatever your foundation is going to grow on that. So if your foundation is family, everything you do, say, walk, be, whatever you do, is built on family.
Oh yeah.
But if everything you do is I understand where economics come in, that is important. But your foundation of where you're starting is what's going to grow from whatever you do. And what we have to get back to, family and community. That, bottom line.
Okay, so there's a lot of roots to what we've talked about. Okay, the black man don't want to be a father to his children. Okay, first of all, when one of y'all said that we have to teach these older, the grown people, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
I have hope.
Because everybody knows right from wrong. See, everybody knows right from wrong. But we're talking about you have to step up, period.
I feel him right there. I want to say,
let's get to the true root of everything. And I think it's
you got it.
Being wise and picking your mate.
Woo. There it is.
That's it.
There it is.
Men and women. Being wise before picking your mate. Before you lie down with somebody, find out what they're all about. Because now you bring a seed into a situation that is doomed from the outcome.
Because you said we have the power, right? If the women have the power, then there's red flags. We talked about red flags.